Traffic Wedderburn, gyro 6789, lining up on runway 35. Traffic Wedderburn. Right, no one on final on either runway. Alright, choke is off, the brake is on, that will be off in a moment. We'll go now to flight mode. We dump any residual, there's nothing there. Alright, holding the stick forward, and now we'll pre-rotate. So just over 3 bar for the pre-rotation. Till we get to 100 RPM. Okay, we're at 100 RPM, we'll go to 6 bar. And we will rotate up to about 180. Okay, brake is off. Choke is off, and we're rolling stick fully back. Rotor RPM is increasing. Just hold your hand over the mic there for a sec. That's it. Just while we get going there, Hughes. Perfect. We're on our way. Okay. Okay. Thumbs up. So we're on our way to Western Sydney Airport today. The airport is still under construction, but it will be completed and operational, according to what they say, by later this year. That's 2026. And at the moment, we can freely fly over that airspace. Obviously, things are going to change dramatically once the airport is operational, but we thought we would take the opportunity today to go for a short flight and have a look at Western Sydney Airport up close.
Thank you, Romeo Juliet. You are number 1, maintain your maximum speed. Maintain maximum speed, Yankee,
well, it's nice. It's a lovely day for flying today, and a great day after a lot of rain that we had last week. Terrible weather for visual flying and pretty challenging for instrument flying for that matter. But it's lovely to see everything nice and green after the excellent rainfall that we've had. Brings forth everything that we need for life. One of the wonders of creation.
Stations Richmond, information now, Foxtrot, 2 changes, cab OK, temperature 27.
Here's departures, good morning, 7 Zulu Uniform Delta, passing 1,700, climbing 3,000.
Zulu Uniform Delta, departures identified.
Can you see the city in the distance there?
Yeah.
Just beautiful to see how green that golf course is, and how, look at all the green pastures out here.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago they would have been looking very brown. Definitely would have been looking brown, but beautiful and green. So a bit of farming that's still happening here in the Sydney Basin, they'll be very pleased for that.
Like 6866, clear direct to Cadden.
Cadden, Mike 6866.
So here we are, approaching the new Western Sydney International Airport, WSI, or Nancy-Bird Walton Airport as it's also named.
Departures RC559, so climb flight over 280.
Nancy-Bird being a very famous female aviator from the early days. I remember correctly, she actually obtained some of her training from Sir Charles Kingsford Smith, and she was one of the earliest female aviators to gain her pilot's licence in Australia. So the airport has been named in her honour. So we're just approaching. That's obviously still all under construction here, but the runway is complete. They've already done some test landings. They've tested the lighting system and various other components. The terminal, I believe, is also complete. We'll see that as we come past in a moment. So we're going to do a flyby right along runway 23. We're going to do an approach, but not a landing. That would only happen if we had an engine failure or any other emergency. But we're allowed to do exactly what we're doing here at the moment. We're allowed to come down a little lower. We'll just look out to make sure that there's no one else who has a similar idea, and we will do our buzz along the runway here.
This is
Pretty cool.
yeah.
Alright, this is something that in a year's time, if it's open as they expect, we will not be allowed to do. So the runway is, I think, 3,700 metres long, 3.7 kilometres. So plenty long enough, I believe, to take any commercial aircraft.
Velocity 559, contact Melbourne Centre, 133.5.
Now you can see all the terminals over here, Hughes. The terminal building and all the gates there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pods with 2 on each, so it looks like it can take 14 aircraft there at any one time.
Rec 6866, contact Melbourne Centre, 118.5 bay.
5 Rec 6866.
Look at the tow truck.
Look at the what?
Tow truck.
Yeah, on the taxiway, yeah, he's going along, he's probably checking us out.
Zulu uniform, Delta climb to 6,000.
Climb to 6,000, Zulu uniform, Delta.
Yeah, so you can see all the markings are all in place, everything's ready to go.
Sydney Centre, Whiskey Bravo, request.
Windsock down here,
Whiskey,
navigation aids, all sorts of stuff. Looks like all a new parking area over here by the looks of it.
Whiskey Bravo, the drop zone is active, the aircraft currently on the ground.
You can see the high intensity lighting up here, the ILS system. Alright, so we've flown the length of the runway. And we'll climb away. And as I said before, it's all nice and green now out here. Look, we've still got farming happening right next to our international airport, which is pretty amazing. It's actually something for you to remember. Hopefully you remember that for the rest of your life, because when you get older and when that airport becomes operational, you'll be able to think and, you know, tell your friends, well, I flew down the runway before it was even open, because our little aircraft, we will not be allowed to do what we did then. But it's, at the moment, it's still all just in the Sydney training area. It's uncontrolled airspace, so we're free to be able to do that. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Here we are again, flying over farmers' crops. Here in Western Sydney, it's becoming less and less common, but still happens. But nice green crops. I can't tell from here exactly what they might be. Some some of our viewers may be more qualified to comment on that.
Traffic Wedderburn, gyro 6789 is 5 miles to the northwest, inbound 1500, traffic Wedderburn.
Alright, so we're just approaching Wedderburn here now. We'll have a look at the windsock and decide which runway we're going to use. It looks like it's coming from the southeast. So we will land to the south, we'll use runway 17, but we'll come over the top. And we'll land up the hill. Yeah, it's definitely favouring 17, so we will do that.
Traffic Wedderburn, gyro 6789 is overhead the field. We're joining a mid-field crosswind, runway 17, full stop, traffic Wedderburn.
Alright, no one else about. No one's on final, no one's in the circuit. Nothing observed and no one heard. Alright, temperatures and pressures are good, instruments are right, switches are right, and the seat belts are secure.
Traffic Wedderburn, gyro 6789, turning base, runway 17, full stop, traffic Wedderburn.
We'll land up the runway a bit so we don't have so far to taxi back.
Are we landing on the ground?
I'm going to land on the bitumen because we had such a lot of rain. I don't want the risk of soft ground. There we go. Stick forward. Taxi on up.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that was pretty good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the grass would have been fine, but I think we'll just let it dry out a few more days before.
Traffic Wedderburn, gyro 6789, clearable, runway to traffic Wedderburn. Alright, let's go to brake mode.
We'll pump that up. Down below 100 RPM. So that's applying the brake to the rotor to slow it down there now. Gradually slow it down.
I can see.
I'll just pull on a little bit there to bring the rotor to the front. There we go. So that's just applying the manual pre-rotator to help bring you want the rotor to be nicely aligned forward and aft.
Yep.
Safer and better all round to have it facing forward and aft, and then you know you're not going to hit the rotor on anything apart from other factors, like you might, if you had it sideways, it sticks out a long way and you might accidentally collect a hanger or something like that, which you don't want.
Yeah.
And I think that was the end of a very successful flight. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
All good? Excellent.